What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stars Insider podcast / show. We're back with another video, and on today's video, I will be previewing the Cowboys offense and defense against the Chicago Bears offense and defense. Without any further ado, let's get straight to it. Alrighty, I first want to go over how this defense of the Dallas Cowboys matches up against this Chicago Bears offense. I know none of us expected the Cowboys. I mean, from the Week 1 performance against the Eagles, I did not expect the Cowboys to get done like they did this past Sunday against the New York Giants. Coverage was terrible. Safeties were lost. Cornerbacks were lost. It just looked like nobody knew their assignments. Nobody knew what was going on. And it was just really, really bad ball from everybody on the team. Except for our guys up front. I think Oso Digizua, Kenny Clark, Solomon Thomas all played a great game. Especially in that red zone. Putting pressure on Russell Wilson. Making him get outside the pocket and make bad decisions. But apart from the very little amount of bright spots from the defense last week, defense played just terrible. I felt like we played. The game against the Giants was going to be the worst offensive line we're going to play the entire season. Maybe not one of the worst offensive lines we were going to play the entire season. Who the guy was, Hudson and Bow and Element Noir. I have a whole bunch of questions about this defensive line going into this next game. Ezaraku doesn't look good. Dante Fowler doesn't look good. Marshawn Nealon didn't look as good as he did in Week 1. I feel like James Houston had a decent game this week too. But our edge rusher room needed some big help, and I think we got some pretty decent help. I don't think this is groundbreaking. I don't think Jadeveon Clowney is going to make an insane impact on this defensive line. I think he'll be a decent player to add to the team, but Jadeveon Clowney isn't the savior of this defense. We need guys to step up. We need guys to play better. And I honestly don't know what the problem is with our guys. I don't know if it's our scheme. I don't know if it's our players just being bad or if it's a mix of both. But yeah, our edge rushers have looked terrible. They looked terrible last week, and I feel like we're playing better tackles than we did last week in Darnell Wright, and I think it's Braxton Jones, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And we're playing a better front as well. And I think Jonah Jackson, Joe Thuney, Drew Dalman, I think those are a couple of really solid guys that the Chicago Bears have on that offensive line. Again, I'm not concerned really at all for Oso Digizua and Kenny Clark against this offensive line. I think they're still going to have a great game. Linebacker room had a mediocre game last week again. I feel like Kenneth Murray stepped up a good bit. But the rest of the guys weren't good. And Maris Leofau, I feel like, is going to be a guy to unleash this week, especially with Caleb Williams being on the field. Caleb Williams is a guy that tends to run a whole bunch, a guy that likes to get outside the pocket and make plays on the run and throwing the ball on the run. He is really good at both of those. So we just got to try to contain Caleb Williams. He's not the type of runner Jalen Hurts is. He's not the type of player Jalen Hurts is. But he is still a very good runner. So it should be interesting. But let's get into these first couple of plays. Again, like I said earlier, I want to go over our defense first and how it matches up against this team. The Chicago Bears have some guys at receiver and at tight end. They have, of course, Rome Odunze, which I think is pretty much the wide receiver one right now. And the guy that's getting the most looks is Rome Odunze. He's really good. But a guy that I feel like has been getting overlooked a whole bunch is DJ Moore. I feel like DJ Moore is honestly a very, very solid player for this team. Again, I feel like he has not been talked about a whole bunch because he has not been involved as much in the offense like these other guys have. But DJ Moore is not going to be a guy to overlook because he can do it all. He can line up on the outside. He can line up at the slot. He can line up even at running back and kill you there too. So it should be another very interesting game. Another difficult matchup for our corners and our safeties and even our linebackers here. But yeah, let's get into this first play. This first play is going to just showcase Caleb Williams' ability to get outside the pocket and make extremely just great throws off platform and extending plays for this Chicago Bears offense. But all right, here we go. Slow it down a little bit here. But here we go. Caleb Williams. Here we see him. Doesn't get his read. He gets inside the pocket, and then there goes Rome Odunze on the outside. And Caleb just throws an absolute dime on the run there to Rome Odunze to complete a very, very deep, not a very deep pass, but complete a very crucial pass there. Again, Caleb Williams might absolutely kill us on the run. Kind of like Jalen Hurts did, but not at the extent of Jalen Hurts, because I feel like Jalen Hurts is he's almost like a run first type of guy. Jalen Hurts is not Jalen Hurts isn't good. He's not a great quarterback. He's not a great passer. So he made our defense look really good. And this defense got exposed last week. But the Chicago Bears are a team that it's a weird team because of the fact of they start off very hot. Week 1 against the Vikings started off extremely hot. They completed a whole bunch of passes in those first 2 quarters. They kept the game out of range for the Vikings, but of course, in that second half, the offense slowed down. The defense started to get a little tired and started to let off some plays. And same with in the Lions game. I feel like they played a really good first half. I think it was 14-21 at half. And the Chicago Bears played a really good first half. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze were having a really good game in that first half. They're just a really good first half team, but in that second half, they tend to just die down a little bit. I'm not sure what happens to this offense, but they start converting less third downs. They start to just play weirder type of football. And I feel like the Cowboys have to take advantage of that. I feel like the Cowboys have to really just score in the first half. They have to keep up with this Chicago Bears offense. Keep up in the scores. Not let the Chicago Bears get too ahead of them, because it's a really good team. The Chicago Bears have a really good offense. Not a great defense, which we will talk about here a little later, but the Chicago Bears have a really good offense, and I feel like with how bad our team played last week, they can, with what they showed last week, with what our defense showed last week, I really wouldn't be surprised if these guys end up putting 30 plus points on us. But let's go on to this next play. Like I was saying earlier, um, DJ Moore is a guy to not overlook at all because, again, he can line up everywhere. He can line up outside, slot, running back, and he's a really aggressive type of receiver. He kind of reminds me a little bit of what Deebo Samuel was back in San Francisco, where he can do it all, and he's also really aggressive, and he won't go down. He's not a guy that goes down easily. Let's watch this play here from Caleb Williams going to DJ Moore here at the top of the screen. DJ Moore does a good job of finding the soft spot on the zone, and he breaks off a couple of tackles, jukes some guys, and just converts for a 30-yard gain there. It's gonna get really interesting, especially having Kaiir Elam on either of these guys, having even Trayvon Diggs, which, I mean, I don't know, man. Trayvon Diggs just hasn't played. Just doesn't look like the guy he looked like a couple of years ago. He looks like he's lost a step. He doesn't look as fast. He doesn't look as twitchy. He doesn't look as instinctive when playing anymore. So missing Deron Bland this week once again is gonna hurt us. It's probably gonna. I'm not saying it's gonna. I don't really want it to hurt us, but it's probably gonna hurt us a whole bunch once again. Just probably Reedy Stewart is gonna be on these guys, and that's just not a good matchup for the Cowboys. That's not a matchup you want to see if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan or if you're a coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's watch this again. Top of the screen here. He finds the soft spot in the zone. He goes up, gets the football, and again he's really, really good after the catch, breaking tackles, making moves, and just making. He's a really, really good playmaker for the Chicago Bears offense. A guy that I won't really talk about a whole bunch, or a guy that I haven't really brought up. I didn't really see too much on film on him, because I don't think he's gonna really be a impact guy on this offense, which will be DeAndre Swift. With how our run defense has been, even with our poor linebacker play, not even poor, but not too great of linebacker play, our run defense has been exceptional. With Kenny Clark, Oso Digizua, and even Solomon Thomas, and even Jay Toia making plays from the interior position of the defensive line. They've been making really good plays. I really don't expect this Chicago Bears offensive line to do a whole bunch against us in the run. The guy they have to worry about most, really, running the football is going to be Caleb Williams. Again, he can kill us with his legs. He can kill us with his arm. But it only really happens in the first half. Let's hope they keep that trend up where they play well in the first half and they kind of die down in the second half, because I feel like the Cowboys have shown more probably in the second half. Especially last week, I feel the Cowboys played extremely well last week in the second half. So we just need to get a couple of stops from our defense, and our offense will go out there and do their thing. Our offense is not a thing that I'm really worried about a whole bunch, and I will talk about that here in just a bit. But I like our matchups. I really, really, really like our matchups. But that's gonna be it for the Bears offense. Again, you have to look out for Aaron Odunze. Look out for Caleb Williams' legs. I don't know if I think I did talk about our defensive line not being great and against the really bad tackles of the Giants and how we're playing better tackles. I think I did talk about that a little earlier. But if I didn't, again, last week I thought we were going to play one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. We did, and our guys didn't do a single thing against them, which is terrible. It sucks. But I guess it is what it is, man. Let's hope we see a little more of Ezra being moved around, going against some of these guards in the middle. I really want Ezra to be used kind of as a Micah Parsons type of guy, lining him up all over the place. Because I feel like I know Ezra has something in him. Because Ezra in Boston College looked really, really, really good. Izaraku early in training camp looked really, really good. It's just about unlocking him in the regular season. I think we'll be just fine rushing the passer, especially and also with Dante Fowler not playing great football. But we've seen good things from these guys on our defensive line. We just need them to really just play better. Just honestly, just play better football. But yeah, without that being said, let's go on to this next segment. Alrighty, now to the fun part of the video and the fun part of this game. I feel like it's gonna be the Cowboys offense against the Detroit Lions. No, I'm tripping. It's gonna be the Cowboys offense against the Chicago Bears defense. They're gonna be missing a couple of key guys. I think Grady Jarrett will play. Let me just double check real quick, but they're gonna be missing a couple guys. Yep. So confirmed. T.J. Edwards is out. Kyler Gordon is out. Jalen Johnson is out. And that is going to be absolutely huge for the Dallas Cowboys offense because we're going to be going up against Nick McLeod, Tyreek Stevenson, and Nashawn Wright. So I expect a huge game from the offense. I really do expect the Cowboys to have another big game passing the football. And I'll talk about how we can be really good against this front of the defense, not the Chicago Bears, because I feel like they're not a great front. I feel like Javonte Williams can continue to have the success he's been having against the Chicago Bears defense. But if we can open up the pass game with the run game, oh my God, great things can happen because they're playing some really, really bad defensive backs. Tyreek Stevenson, Nashawn Wright, which will probably be on George Pickens the entire game. I feel like CeeDee Lamb's going to get double teamed a whole bunch. But again, that's going to open up a whole lot he's going to open up George Pickens a whole bunch. I really do see George Pickens having a massive game, especially what we saw of him last week. I'm getting involved more with the offense. I feel like we should see a whole bunch more of George Pickens and Dak Prescott. But yeah, let's watch this play here from Tyreek Stevenson going up against Amon-Ra St. Brown, and just watch this. Here goes Amon-Ra St. Brown. Kind of a deep dig there, and he just absolutely fries Tyreek Stevenson. I mean, if Amon-Ra is doing that to Tyreek Stevenson, just imagine what CeeDee Lamb or even George Pickens can do to these guys. Again, I'm not worried a whole bunch about the Chicago Bears defense. I'm kind of worried a little bit about Tremaine Edmonds, Jaquan Brisker, and really just those two guys. And also Montez Sweat as well. Montez Sweat is a guy that will probably be lined up against Tyler Guyton a whole bunch this game, because I'm pretty sure he just plays the right side. He mainly plays the right side of the defensive line. So Tyler Guyton versus Montez Sweat will be a matchup to watch. And I'm honestly pretty confident in Tyler Guyton against these dudes because I feel like he's been playing really good. I feel like he's been playing very solid. He's shown improvements. I feel like he played pretty decent against the Giants last week. Brian Burns, Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. I feel like he played pretty well. But yeah, it's gonna be a huge game for. I feel like everybody can have a really good game if they manage to bottle up CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. That's gonna open up Kevontae Turpin, and Jake Ferguson, and Javonte Williams, even as a receiver. So I honestly expect a huge game from these guys. Again, because they're missing a whole bunch of guys, a whole bunch of really, really key pieces on that Chicago Bears defense. But alrighty, let's go on to this next play. Alright, let's go on to this next play, and this just continues. This continues to be just poor play from the Chicago Bears defensive backs. Watch this play here. Watch Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams with a 64-yard gain here. He cooks Nick McLeod. They're running some sort of zone coverage here. Jaquan Brisker, number 9, is down here against Jahmyr Gibbs, and that just opens up for Jameson Williams in a really, really deep pass. I think did he get a touchdown? No, he did not get a touchdown here, but it opens up for a huge, huge play here. I'm not sure what type of zone coverage they're running here, but I'm not sure. I don't think Brisker is really doing a great job here, or even Tremaine Edmonds here. That's TJ Edwards. But if stuff like this can open up for the Cowboys against the Chicago Bears, I mean, dude, it's gonna be another huge game for CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Again, like I said, I really like the matchup of George Pickens against the guys they'll have on the outside. I really do feel like George Pickens is gonna have a massive, massive, massive game against these dudes. But yeah, if the Bears continue to play as poorly as they've been playing, I really do feel like the Cowboys are gonna be up for a huge game here. But all right, let's go on to this final play. Now, talking a whole bunch about the Cowboys' passing game, but let's talk a little bit about how Javonte Williams can have a huge game. The Chicago Bears don't have really huge guys on the defensive line. They don't have the type of run defenders or they don't have the type of run defenders the Giants did, or even the Philadelphia Eagles did. I feel like this is the weaker of the defense we've played as of now. The linebackers are probably the strength of the team, and right now it's really just going to be Tremaine Edmonds because TJ Edwards is out. It's going to be Noah Sewell coming in. I'm not sure what the other linebacker is, but I'm not really scared a whole bunch about this defensive line rushing the passer and stopping the run. They'll have Deo Odeyingbo. They'll have Grady Jarrett, which is just old. I'm not scared about this defensive line really at all. The guy I'm most scared of is Montez Sweat, and I feel like we have a really good shot of really stopping him and not letting him do a whole bunch against us. Let's watch this play here from Jahmyr Gibbs. It's going to be some sort of run here to the outside, run here to the right, taking to the outside, and Gibbs just breaks up. Just watch this. Let me slow it down here a little bit. Linebackers get kind of lost there. Even the defensive backs get kind of lost there. Kevin Byard, another guy that I'm not really too worried about. But yeah, just watch this hole opened up here. The Lions did a really good job of scheming this play for Jahmyr Gibbs. Opened up a huge hole and allowed Jahmyr Gibbs to get a 42-yard gain here on this play. Watch this again. They just get completely fooled from this play. Linebackers just get fooled, and it just allows Jahmyr Gibbs to have a huge gain there. But like I was saying, if we can open up the pass with the run, I want the Cowboys to not rely a whole bunch on the pass and really just keep running the football. I want them to keep running the football, being the run the football type of team, run first type of team. I really do feel another pretty decent game here from Javonte Williams. Maybe like 50 to 70 yards here, maybe another touchdown here. Because I'm not worried about this defensive line. The defensive line isn't very good. best guy on the defensive line. On the defensive interior is probably Grady Jarrett, and Grady Jarrett isn't very good, if we're being honest. Their defensive ends aren't great at stopping the run, except for Montez Sweat, which I do still feel like Montez Sweat is probably the biggest. Him and Tremaine Edmonds will probably be the biggest impact guys they'll have on the team, on the defense. But yeah, with all that being said, let's go on to the predictions. Alrighty, now on to the predictions. I honestly do feel like this is going to be a high-scoring game because I'm not too confident in our defense from what we saw last week. I hope Eberflus can kind of have a bit of a bounce-back game, but if that doesn't happen, we might get absolutely killed by this Chicago Bears defense, with Chicago Bears offense. But offensive wise, I think we're bound to have another really, really good game from everywhere. Passing, running, I think we'll have another really good game. My prediction for this game, I think Dak will have up from, I think, 260 to another 300 yards this game. Maybe 2 touchdowns, maybe a third touchdown possibly. I see Javonte Williams having from 60 to 80 yards and a touchdown. I feel like CeeDee Lamb won't have as big of a game as he has had in the past 2 weeks. But I'm gonna say his stats here. I feel like CeeDee Lamb will probably have about 70 to 80 yards, which is still a really good game. But I don't think we'll have another 100-yard game. He might have a touchdown though. I don't think CeeDee Lamb goes 3 weeks without having a touchdown. Now, like I was saying, CeeDee Lamb might not have a huge game this week, but if CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a huge game, I think that means that George Pickens is gonna have a huge game. I really like the matchup of Pickens against Nashawn Wright, and maybe they might even put him up across Tyreek Stevenson. I really do feel like Pickens is gonna have a huge game. That's like my take. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you heard it here first. Pickens is gonna have 120 yards, 120 plus yards, and a touchdown against the Chicago Bears. Book it. Put it on your parlays. Book it. I think he'll have a huge game. But now, I think we'll have a really good game offensively. I think we'll have a decent game against the run once again. I really don't think DeAndre Swift will do a whole bunch against us. I think he'll go under 50, 60 yards. I don't think he'll have a whole bunch of yardage. I'm not really worried about Kyle Monunga and the other guys they have there. If DeAndre Swift can't get going, I don't think the other guys will be able to get going. But a guy I'm really worried about is Caleb Williams, because he is really good at football. Caleb Williams' legs can kill us. His arm can kill us. I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Williams has like a 300-yard pass game and goes for like 80 rushing yards this game, especially if Marius Leafau doesn't play. And a guy that I think we're going to have to look out for a lot is going to be DJ Moore. I feel like DJ Moore is going to be involved a whole bunch in this offense. Because he hasn't. He just hasn't been involved a whole bunch in this offense. And I feel like DJ Moore is going to get involved against the Cowboys. I feel he's going to play everywhere. Like I said, he'll play outside, slot, running back. And I feel like he might kill us in every way. I can see DJ Moore having like a 100-yard game against us. But now 2 score predictions. I think we'll win this game if our defense can just get like 2 or 3 stops, allow our offense to just go and score, and give us like two or three solid stops. I think our offense can go out and score. I think the Cowboys are gonna win this game 41-31. I can see us losing this though if somehow our offense doesn't get going. For some reason, our offense doesn't get going here, and Ben Johnson just does us like he did us when he was with the Lions last year, this could be an ugly game. This could be a very, very ugly game. I don't think we'll get ran through. I really hope I'm not jinxing us, but I really don't think the run game, let me like run game, not Caleb Williams' run game, but the Chicago Bears run game, I feel like really won't be there. I think what can kill us though is the pass game. I mean, I'm losing more and more confidence. I know it's just been 2 weeks. I know this is one game, but if our cornerbacks don't step up and have a good game, we're gonna get torched by Caleb Williams. But I honestly do think we win. I don't think our offense will slack. We don't have Mike McCarthy as our play caller or head coach anymore. I don't think we're gonna be doing that type of stuff anymore. Hopefully. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I had to record this. This is pretty much my third time recording this because my computer is stupid and it deleted my other two versions I had recorded. So I really hope y'all enjoyed. Please drop a follow Instagram, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, drop a comment if y'all enjoyed today's video. Again, I'm still learning the game of football. Please keep being patient with me. And yeah, cheers to hopefully a Cowboys victory. I'll see y'all boys. God bless each and every single one of you beautiful souls. And peace.